Welcome to Champlin Park High School. It all comes down to this one to decide the Section 5 4A baseball championship. It's the Champlin Park Rebels, the number 2 seed against number 5 seed Maple Grove. Maple Grove won earlier 5-0 in Game 1 to force a second game for the championship. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Drew Keogh. And Drew, we talked about it in that first game. You know, does the momentum, does the pressure kind of flip around now that Maple Grove, they were the team that came in without any margin for error, but they took it to Champlin in game number 1. Now the pressure might switch to the other side. Yeah, they played a flawless game 1. They had some key hits and big moments early in the game, got the momentum. And then as Champlin Park got runners on base, not very often, but when they did, they were able to rely on their defense and turn a couple double plays that kept them out of danger. And Maple Grove steamrolled through that first game. And, you know, there was a saying, I think it was Ernie Banks, that said, beautiful day for baseball, let's play two, and here we are. And Maple Grove is going to ride that hot arm of their pitcher and send him back out, which makes sense. They're kids. Let him go. He's hot. They had maybe 2-3 solid hit balls to the outfield. They had a double down the left field line, but other than that, they did not really put the ball in play and put too much of a threat to the Maple Grove defense. So ride that hot arm and see what happens for the first couple innings. Somewhat surprisingly, we're seeing Evan O'Dwyer warming up again for Game 2. Champlin Park is the visitor. We had a coin flip for Game 2, and Maple Grove will be home. Which is a very, very unique thing, and you know, it's part of your youth sports, high school sports, is coin flip when you get to the last game of the season for the section. Champlin Park came in as the home team, the higher seed. You play here, but when it comes to that championship game for the losers to come in and force that second game of the championship game, there's a coin flip, and Maple Grove decided to, they won the coin flip and then decided to play as the home team. We said Evan O'Dwyer was very efficient in that first game. I believe they said the pitch count he ended up at was 82, and you get a maximum of 115, so you're probably only looking at a couple innings out of him, but they feel like let's keep riding him. He was so sharp and so good in that first game. So Brockton Sandell will lead it off here for Champlin Park. Their second baseman, Nick Carlson, the shortstop, will follow him, and then Kellen Oligmuller, the first baseman. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Champlin Park comes to the plate and with their batting, their approaches at the plate, knowing that he has, 35, 45 pitches in his arsenals, and then he's got to be pulled. But he hammered the zone. He was aggressive early in the game in the first game. See if he stays with that same mentality. Swing and a miss here. I wonder a little bit about the break. A little bit of time's probably good, but there was about a half hour between games. You wonder about cooling down and then having to heat up again if you're O'Dwyer. Yeah, and you did mention that in between games, that and there's that downtime, but also towards the end of the game, he did start to lose a little bit of control and was outside the plate, threw a couple in the dirt, but here's a good start to the game. Sandell bouncing to the shortstop, Lenmark, and he is out 6-3 to begin the first inning, and Nick Carlson will be the hitter here for Champlin Park. Lenmark throw kind of a little bit high, but not too high over the head of Johnson there. Yeah, Johnson's done a good job of adjusting to the throws as they come over to him. He had that interesting call early in the game, in the first game, but addressed the issue and kept his foot in the bag for the future throws and made a couple of big plays down the stretch in that first game to get the Maple Grove to this championship game. Carlson was 0 for 3 in the first game against O'Dwyer, and a swing and a miss there. You wonder, too, if the Rebels are, actively talking about let's take some pitches to get his pitch count and get him out, but at the same time, you don't want to just fall behind. Here's a chopper left side off the tip of the glove of Berg, and Carlson will be aboard. Guess I'd say infield hit on that, Drew. Do you agree? I think it's a hit, yep. Would have been a tough play if he comes up with it, but you can't assume anything. Kellen Oligmuller will be the hitter. Yeah, it's towards the gap. If he makes the play, it's a great play, but if he doesn't, you can't assume he's going to make it. Only had one error in that first game. I thought both teams, solid defensively for sure.
Very clean and efficient game. Same thing we said about the last time I saw these guys play about 4 weeks ago. It was a clean game. I think it was a 2-1 finish. These guys, both teams played clean. Not a lot of mental errors, not a lot of physical errors, and it's fun to watch as a fan, as a broadcaster here.
So to first, Carlson spun his wheels a little bit, getting started back. They kind of wet down the dirt there around the bases, and he got stuck a little bit. Oleg Miller was 1 for 3 in the first game, had a single in the 7th. Ooh, he drives this one out to deep right field. It's going back, and it is off the wall. Oleg Miller will have a double. Carlson being waved around. Here comes the throw to the plate, too high and late. And it's 1-0 Champlin Park. Well, a much different start to this one. Oleg Miller blasting a double to the base of the fence in right field to score Carlson.
And about just missed getting out of the park right off the Sundance banner out there in right field. Line drive, not a pop fly. Line drive right off the banner, maybe about 3-4 feet away from getting out of the park. The right fielder doesn't come up with it cleanly. Good relay to the second baseman, but the throw not in time, high and a little late, allows the runner to come in. And Champlin Park, this is what they needed. This is what they were doing in the first inning of the last game. They were doing it in the second inning until Maple Grove put up 5 runs. Now they come out and have a little energy.
Reese George is the batter here for the Rebels. Ooh, that one right over his head. George was hit by a pitch in the first game and then had a ground out and a strikeout.
You say a good take, but he's up 2-0 on the count. That's one of those ones where you kind of want to spin your back, take that right in the back, and you got runners on first and second with 1 out. Easier said than done.
Yeah, a pitch coming at your head, your body tells you get out of the way. There's a strike.
But you do see that at the college levels. The college level kids are not afraid. They crawl the plate, and depending on the count, they'll really get up on the plate and be almost threatening that pitcher to hit them. And they'll take a hit to the back over a chance to get struck out or a walk. That ball looked like it was off the plate, but called for a second strike.
I have to admit the hit by pitch has become a bigger part of the game than I like or prefer.
At the higher level, like not at the professional level, because the professional pitchers are elite. I mean, they are the best in the world. I mean, they're as good as it gets. But when you look at the college level, and right now when you watch the College World Series, you watch these small schools there were some teams like like Austin Baptist and some schools I've never heard of that have these significantly talented baseball teams. And part of that is they're up at the plate doing little scrappy things to get on base. And then they set the table for their big hitters.
Comebacker there. O'Dwyer looks the runner back, stumbles coming off the mound, but then still gets the out at first base. Keeps Oleg Miller planted at second, and Luke Carlson will be the hitter.
And I'm going to say this in a good way, that's the most excitement and energy I've seen out of him all night. I mean, he's faced almost the minimum amount of batters from this Champlin Park team through, 7 2/3 of an inning. But when he kind of stumbled, he's like, oh boy, I got to get that ball over to first base. And he did. He knew he could do it and kept his composure and got that second out.
Luke Carlson was 1 for 3 in the first game, had a double right down the third base line, knocks it back up the middle, and that one off of Lundmark. Oleg Miller is going to be held up as it doesn't get too far away. And Carlson is aboard. Again, it was a little bit of bounce, but I think you got to go error on that one, and there'll be runners at the corners, and the almost flawless first game is not starting out the same way for Maple Grove in the second.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing third base coach rethinking his decision to hold that runner at third. I think the key thing there is when that ball's put in play to the shortstop when you're on second base, you got to move. You got to go to third base, anticipate something wrong happening, and that's a perfect situation. That ball bounced off the shortstop's shoulder to the left of him, away from third base. You have a much better opportunity to get a huge round off of third base, and he didn't do it, and allowed Maple Grove to really get that ball and not feel threatened. But if you want to be aggressive and force that issue, you got to be aggressive on the base pass from the start.
Donovan Vendel, the right fielder, stepping in. And 2-0. Little early activity. We saw Ian Schock loosening up for Maple Grove. And again, we knew that O'Dwyer wasn't going to be able to go very deep regardless of how it started, but he has not been mowing them down as much as he did in that first game. That one is a strike. Rebels fans didn't agree. There's Schock.
Yeah, you knew that would happen in the first or second inning. I don't think Maple Grove anticipated being the first, but here we are.
Flips that one to first. Johnson had to scramble a bit to get it.
And interesting, they're holding him on with 2 outs. They're holding a runner on at first with the runners on first and third. Nobody on second here, so big gap on the right side there.
That one missing inside. 3 balls and a strike here to Vendel. Champlin Park jumping out to an early 1-0 lead here in the top of the first.
A lot of times you see teams kind of trail the runner, play that first baseman right behind him in case they want to pick him off, but he's holding the bag.
That one a breaking ball over for a strike. Make it a full count here.
So the runner will be going. There's no reason to hold him on.
Popped up. Lenmark, the shortstop, calling and will make the catch. And the inning comes to an end, but it's a productive one for Champlin Park. 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 error and a couple left on. So after a half inning, Champlin Park, after losing the first game 5-0, scores their first run of the night. They lead it 1-0, and Maple Grove will get their first opportunities with the bat. And obviously, again, we're just getting started, Drew, but we're seeing early on that it's not going to be quite as smooth a sailing as it was in that first game for the Crimson.
Yeah, this is the start Champlin Park wanted. I don't want to say they came out flat, but they just didn't get anything going. And Maple Grove just shut them down. Anytime they got a run on, they turned a double play, kept them quiet. There was no real threat throughout that first game. So here to come out in the top of the first and get a couple runners on, get a runner over to third, and, of course, at home to get that first run on the board for them is a huge start for Champlin Park.
And the young man on the mound in game 2 here for Champlin Park is Evan Nordby, who beat Maple Grove during the regular season, a game we had for you on CCX. As Drew mentioned, a 2-1 win, and then he came back and beat them in the winners bracket final on Saturday, beat them 7-2 with a complete game. He was not super sharp in the early innings, but kind of got better as the game went on. They added to their lead a little bit, and he just kind of came at them a little bit more, it felt like, and pitched well enough to stay out there all 7 and get that win. So they kind of knew they'd had him in their back pocket for game 2 here tonight, if there was going to be a game 2. And again, there's always all the talk about strategy. No, you got to go after game 1. You got to, everybody, each coach has got to use their best judgment on that and kind of let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, after this game, there's a reset. You made a state. You have a few days off. You realize who you're playing. You understand the schedule. I think it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday. Like there's a strategy when you get to state. But the thing is, you got to get to state. You got to get there. You got to get through this section. Get through the sections of grind. And fortunately for Champlin Park, they were able to have a couple days off in between games. Going through the winners bracket, Maple Grove had to grind it out. They got a huge start from their pitcher in the first game, and here we are in the second game. And good battle between these two teams that know each other really well.
Limerick fouling that one at the plate. He was 1 for 3 with a walk in the first game. Oh, 1 pitch. Limerick slices it down the left side there, foul.
You know, we were talking about Champlin Park center fielder earlier in the first game, and he's playing way in. And I think that's just kind of a nod to his ability to track a ball off the bat and backpedal and track a ball down if it's over his head. Whereas you look at the corner outfielders, they're closer to the fence, playing a little bit deeper.
And they've obviously, they've seen each other enough to kind of really have an idea what each hitter is all about, and that's for Limerick. They're more worried about him slapping the ball hard on the ground or not necessarily tagging it over the center fielder's head. Another one fouled away. That one fouled straight back.
Yeah, I mean, just watching George out there, it's fun to watch kids who do little things during the game that you teach them when they're young.
And fouled on the left field line.
And you hope they get it. Sometimes they don't. But watch, I mean, if there's, we have like 19 cameras here tonight, and I love this crew, but watch his movement. He's watching the ball. If he realizes the pitch is on the outside part of the plate, he notices this hitter is not going to be able to pull it, so he's already going to left center field to know it's going to be opposite field hit.
Back up the middle, diving try by Sandell, the second baseman, who was swung way over that way, but he couldn't quite get it. And Limerick with a leadoff single here for Maple Grove.
Good, solid piece of hitting. And if you're not trying to hit, you want to hit home runs. Home runs are fun. But your goal as a hitter is to hit the ball line, hit line drives, hit it up the middle. That's where the least amount of defenders are. Hit it over the pitcher's head if you can. Hit it to the gaps. That's where your power is. That's where you hit the ball the most. And that's where you're going to get the most hits.
Caden Harney squaring around, takes a strike. In the same situation in the first game, they were looking to bunt, and Harney was unable to get it down, ended up flying out.
And the third baseman about 4 or 5 steps in on the grass here.
Runner going, and pitch taken for a ball, and Limerick easily swipes second. Oakley's throw to the third base side wasn't going to be in time, I don't think, anyway.
So I'd be curious. I think you still keep the bunt play on here, especially with the third baseman coming in to challenge. You got to make sure that the defense knows what's going on. You don't want the third baseman to come in and field a fake bunt and allow that runner to easily get down to third base. So those little things that will be interesting to see how these teams play it out.
Good take there by Harney. It's hard to say if he got an idea that his guy had a good jump or not, but it turned out to be the right move. He is still bunting. The pitch is right over his head, and that'll advance him to third. So not the kind of start Normby was looking for in this one. His wild pitch will advance Limerick to third as Maple Grove looking to tie it up.
I think that was the pitch they were looking for, just not that far in and out. And I think it did hit the bat or the helmet. It hit something.
Oh,
yeah, it did hit,
right.
It did hit the bat.
Well, then how is the runner at third?
They didn't call a foul ball.
Huh. There's a strike.
Yeah, I think going back to that previous pitch, I think they were going up and in to see if he was going to square around and bunt to let his defense know what's going on so they could position. Now the infield entirely in on the grass.
Harney fouls it away.
Which is a very tough spot when you have a top of the order up.
Surprised you at all that they'd go infield in with this 1-0 game early?
Very surprised. Very surprised. You'd think you'd, because it not only does it make it harder for the fielders to field the ball, but it also makes it harder for them to cover those gaps. The ball gets through those gaps quicker, especially with a tall guy like this at the top of the order. If he hits the ball hard, it's probably going to get through and let's hit right at the fielder.
2-2 count here to Harney. Limerick at third, nobody out. And there's exactly what we see. Slashes it past the shortstop Carlson. We are tied up at 1-1. Maple Grove wasting no time answering that early Champlin Park run as Caden Harney with a single to score Limerick.
Yeah, I think that's, easier said now. Hindsight's 2020, but I think you play them in halfway on the baselines. That gives them more of an opportunity to move and field those balls. And if it's hit up the middle to their left and right, they're not going to make the play at home, but they get out at first. That ball would have been hit right at your shortstop, or if he's playing midway at the baseline, and then you probably have a chance to turn the double play at third base. But Maple Grove ties the game up 1-1.
Becca Chimpa was on fire in the first game, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. He'll look to continue that here. Or be missing outside.
Yeah, I remember a couple of the balls he had early in the first game were down in the zone. And he got his barrel down and drove that ball, and it made it tough for the outfielders to pick the ball up. You want to stay up towards the zone. Don't let him get that barrel of the bat down. Drive the ball.
Fouling that one back. Certainly some early momentum for Champlin Park with that first inning run, but Maple Grove not wasting any time, coming right back with a run of their own. Keep in mind, too, we do switch spots for the umpires, so the strike zone might be changed a little bit from game 1 to game 2. And everybody's got to kind of be cognizant of that, for the early part of this game.
Yeah, you definitely want to be aware of what he's calling, what he's not, because you hope he's going to be consistent. Of course, the base pass umpires, they're important, but they're not nearly as impactful as the home plate umpire calling balls and strikes.
Shimpa just got a piece of that one to stay alive.
And that's the thing. A lot of teams and players and parents get so focused on the umpire's ability to call balls and strikes. They're going to call balls and strikes. That's what they're out there to do. The pitchers need to adjust. The batters need to adjust. If they're consistently calling the strikes in the outside corner of the plate, you need to adjust and adjust your bats.
Shimpa fouling that one off, protecting on a pitch right on the outside edge. Harney's not getting a real big lead over there, and doesn't look like they intend to run him. That one just hooking around the plate, and it's now a full count.
That's one of those pitches you got to learn. Of course, you didn't get it. You wish you got it, but you didn't get it. So you got to know you're probably not going to get it for the next 6 innings.
Shimpa swing and a miss, and Norby ends up winning the battle here to get the first out. That's a good pitch against a dangerous hitter as he came down and in.
The first baseman, number 18, Connor Johnson.
Yeah, if you're not getting the outside corner, go for the inside corner. See what you can do.
So look at that lineup for Maple Grove. Connor Johnson, first baseman, now hitting. Takes that one for a strike. Followed by Wilm, Erg, Tainton, Lenmark, and Van Sluten. Johnson was 0 for 3 and was hit by a pitch in that first game. He took it off the helmet, in fact. Pounding it to short. Carlson flips to second for 1. The relay, though, is a little bit wide. Oligmiller did a good job staying with it, but he was off the base. So they'll get the lead runner, but not the second. Johnson aboard on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, hard hit ball to the shortstop, but not directly at him. And he's already playing kind of deep to cut off some of the lanes and gets that important first out at second base. But the relay was just not in time to get him at first.
Wilm was 0 for 4 in the first game, did reach on an error. Takes that one for a strike. Fights that one off, fouls it away. We talked earlier about, you kind of have to, for both these teams in different ways, you have to have short memory. If you're Champlin Park, say, whatever happened that first game, we got to forget about it. If you're Maple Grove, you say, well, the fact that they beat us twice earlier, we got to forget about that. That's a called third strike. Wilm didn't really like it, but Nordby will get that strikeout here. So Maple Grove answers Champlin Park's run with a run of their own. 1 run on a couple of hits. And 1 left aboard. We've completed 1 inning of game 2. It's 1-1, Champlin Park and Maple Grove. And welcome back here to Champlin Park. This is the Section 5 4A Baseball Championship, game number 2. So this one is indeed for the title. Maple Grove beat Champlin Park 5-0 in the first game to force this second game for the championship. The lineup for Champlin Park here is Sandell, Carlson, Oleg Mueller, George, Luke Carlson, Donovan Bendel, and then the bottom third will be coming up here in the second inning. Fino, the DH, Cal Oakley, the catcher, and Caleb Greer, the left fielder. Defensive alignment here for Maple Grove. Berg, Glenmark, Van Sluten, and Johnson around the infield. Harney, Limerick, and Tainton in the outfield. Connor Wilm, the catcher. And we do have a new pitcher coming in is left-hander Ian Schock will step in for Maple Grove. He did pitch against Champlin Park on Saturday. Ian on the season 1-1. Pitched 31 innings, 2.71 ERA. In 31 innings, 27 hits, 30 strikeouts, and has walked 11. Opponents hitting .218 against him. So Dwyer pitched a complete game in the first game, was getting near the pitch count and was a little bit shakier maybe in that first inning anyway, and I don't know exactly what his pitch count ended up, but we knew he wasn't going to be in the game long either way. And Schock, I think it's better too to be able to start an inning for him, so they'll make that call to go to the pen right away. Alex Fino will step in for Champlin Park.
Yeah, when you come in as a relief pitcher, you want the bases cleared. You don't want to be dealing with runners on base. Allows you to come in like you normally would to start the game. Even if you're a reliever, you want to come in with a clean slate, and that's what we're dealing with here.
Schock looks like has 7 saves, so been kind of used as a closer apparently, but in this situation, they feeling the need, you got to go with an effective guy here and get some innings. Chopper to short, Lenmark charging, juggled it just a bit, but still had time to get Fino. Good play there as he got a good break on that. It really had to charge it. Boy, I tell you, fielding the ball is only half of the equation for middle infielders. It's knowing what hop do you want to get to this ball on, too.
Yeah, footwork and hands are huge. It's nice to be able to come in and attack the ball, but to be able to position your feet as you catch that ball to be ready to throw the ball. It saves you a half second, saves you a step, and have a good strong throw over to first base allowed him to get that first out.
Cal Oakley, the catcher, stepping in. I noticed this the other day, and I saw it again tonight. I just love it. Joey Limerick, when he stepped in to lead off, he and Oakley shook hands before the game. It's classy on both those guys' part. I like seeing that.
Yeah, we said that earlier in the first game. These kids know each other. They've played against each other. They've grown up together. They've played in the same teams together, summer teams. There's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of sportsmanship, and it's fun to watch. And it's really good for the sport to see kids have that type of, yes, there's compassion, there's aggression. They're out there trying to win for their team and their community, but to look across the dugouts and the field and say, okay, I know these guys. I like them.
There's a strike.
And that comes with experience. A lot of kids realize they look at their competitors like, I don't like anybody. I got to win. I got to be the best. And yeah, you want to be the best. You want to win, but you also want to be, have good sportsmanship and make sure that you're not, you're keeping the sportsmanship in the game and being a good leader for the kids behind you, showing you don't need to be kind of a poor sport out there to go out there and win. You want to go and win, but you want to be a good sport and keep that friendship and keep the camaraderie out there.
Paul DeLong will be a courtesy runner for Oakley at first base. Interesting, though, not everybody feels the same about that. I was watching a show on MLB Network about Game 7 of the 91 World Series. Jack Morris, of course, on the hill for the Twins. And the game started with Brian Harper shaking hands with the leadoff hitter, and Morris said, "I didn't like that at all. That's the enemy. You don't do that." And knowing Jack Morris,
I hear you. Some people have different mentalities, but that's the highest level. That's the best competitors in the world. When you're in the MLB, you're the best of the best in the World Series. I get it. When you're at the high school level, you got to understand there's other things going on in life, other things in the world that you got to be aware of. But I also do understand he's going to say that, but once the game's done, he's going to be like, all right, Lonnie Smith, I got it. I like it. You're a good guy. I like you as much as we wanted to hate you and hope you failed every time you did something in the game. After the game, off the field, I like you as a person.
I don't know if Jack Morris would say that. I'm just being honest.
You're probably right. There are some out there that are like that.
Schock having trouble putting it over the plate here a little bit early on as he walked Oakley and now falling behind Greer. And the Saturday matchup between these two was a little more like this. We had a lot of long counts, a lot of pitchers, struggling a bit, nibbling, trying to find the strike zone, and including Nordby earlier in the game came back and pitched, well down the stretch. This one fouled away.
Got the late post. I like it. Came back.
Greer was just 0 for 1 in that first game, and then he was pinch hit for the next time around. Back up the middle, Schock fields it, throws a little behind Lenmar. Throw to first is still in time. Nice turn of that one, and they will get the double play. Nice fielding play by Schock, and then Lenmark stayed with the throw a little bit behind him. So the Rebels are done in the second. It stays 1-1 here in Game 2 for the Section 5 title.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Topline member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Lots of fun at the ballpark here today. That young guy hanging on for the ride as Maple Grove and Champlin Park tied at 1 after a more adventurous start offensively in this one. Preston Berg stepping in here for Maple Grove to begin the bottom of the second. Again, Maple Grove is the home team for Game 2. There was a coin flip as each team then had one loss in the tournament. Berg homered in his first at bat of the first game, and then struck out and hit him to a double play. But I think the homer wins out in what you remember about that one. So he was 1 for 3, and that started a 5-run second inning, which was all the runs in the game.
Yeah, it was a big momentum change for them to get that ball over the fence. They all got excited, saw his excitement, and then they started to put the ball in play and had a couple huge hits in that first game to bring a couple more runs across the plate.
Oakley trying to frame that one up for Nordby there. 1-2 count to Berg leading off the second. That one is over for a strike. I think Berg knew it too. So third strikeout already for Nordby. And Oliver Tainton will be the batter.
Yeah, the zone is definitely stretched a little bit. These pitchers are pushing the zone, staying off the plate, trying to sell that outside corner, and they are getting it. And as you get it, you keep hammering that outside corner, and be interested to see if the batters adjust and try and drive that outside pitch to the opposite field.
Tainton, first pitch swinging there, fouls it away. Yeah, they single and reached on a hit by pitch, and also a line out to right in that first game. Fouls another one away. Nordby, as we mentioned, already had 2 wins over Maple Grove this year, one in the regular season, one in the playoffs. Whip and a miss, and Tainton down on strike. So 2 strikeouts in a row, or actually 3 in a row, dating back to last inning. And Lenmark will be the batter for Maple Grove.
Yeah, a little bit of a deception there by the catcher. You see him up in the count, and the catcher goes down in the squat. You would expect something low in the zone. He's raising his glove up before the pitch, so the hitter's trying to protect that upper part of the zone, and sure enough, he stays down and gets that strikeout.
Lenmark was 1 for 3 in the opening game of this, what turns into a doubleheader, and I think he's been a pretty excellent defensively here tonight as well.
Yeah, we were just talking about in between the innings that his footwork and his hands are great. He puts himself in the position. He goes to get the ball. His momentum is going towards the base he's throwing towards, and puts himself in a position to make a good, strong throw to the base he's trying to throw to.
Ooh, high chopper there, and Nordby threw it high as well. Oligmuller using all of that height to stay with that one and get the out. A 1-2-3 second for Nordby. We've completed 2 innings. It's 1-1, Champlin Park and Maple Grove.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
We head to inning number 3 here. This game will decide the Section 5 4A champion, and we're not going to have a second local team from another section in the 4A tournament. We understand why Zeta did lose tonight to Edina. Section 6 final. Trojans needed 2 wins, and instead they got 0. So Edina will be headed to state out of Section 6. Brockton Sandell leading it off, the top of the order here for Champlin Park against Ian Schock, the second pitcher for Maple Grove. If you're just joining us, Evan O'Dwyer had such a good and efficient performance in game number 1 for Maple Grove, a 3-hit shutout, that they brought him back to start the second game, pitched the first inning, gave up 1 run, and then was nearing his pitch count limit anyway, and there's a strike. Sandell bounced to short. There's Evan O'Dwyer. They got their money's worth out of him today. he was great.
Yeah, the Rebels got more action out of him on the first inning of this game than they did in the first whole game of the 7 innings.
Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, baseball, probably as much as any sport, later in the day even, or from one day to the next, you might get a totally different outcome on some of these, and just the way baseball is, it hard hit balls one game are right at somebody, and the next game they're in the gap, and there isn't all that much difference. I mean, yes, the good teams, cream rises to the top and all that, but you can have a little different outcome even between the same 2 teams. Slow roller to second. Ooh, close play at first, and they'll get the out on Sandell. Boy, that was not very hard hit. It was a spinning ball, and that's a difficult play to make, as Van Sluten knew he had to come real hard at this one.
Yeah, ball spinning right off the bat, and a good hustle out of the batter's box, but good approach by the second baseman to come in and field it cleanly and get it over first base quickly to get that out.
Sandell hoping he had beat that one, but didn't quite do so. And good decision by Van Sluten, I think, not to try to barehand it. Yeah, because that would be real tough to do.
Yeah, I think you knew it was spinning off the bat. It probably wasn't spinning by that time, but he realized he had enough time to field it cleanly with the glove and get a good transition over first base to get that out.
Nick Carlson, the hitter, he singled and scored the Rebels run in the first on that double by Oligmuller. Takes that one for a ball. That one hangs outside from Schock. 2 balls and a strike. And now 3-1.
If you're Champlin Park, you're happy. You're excited that you see your fans, your team having the energy in the bench. Towards the end of that first game, they were down 5-0 in the 6th and 7th inning, and they weren't bored, but they were a little disappointed, a little defeated. And now they're stayed to the game and 1-1 here in the 3rd, and they're having the energy on the bench.
Carlson hits a rope, but it's right at the left fielder Harney. That's what I was talking about. Nothing wrong with that swing or contact, but just happened to be right at the left fielder Harney, who made it look easy out there. Again, those line drives right at outfielders are not always such an easy play, but he didn't have any trouble with that one.
Yeah, really good solid contact, squared that ball up, just hit it unfortunately directly at the left fielder.
Oligmuller doubled to the fence and right to score Carlson with the first run for Champlin Park in the first inning. Big cut and a miss at an off-speed pitch from Schock there. Taken for a ball. We mentioned in the regular season meeting between the two, Kellen's dad was one of the first big standout athletes in Maple Grove. Baseball and other sports, basketball as well. And a swing and a miss, and Schock gets him on strikes. It's a quick 1-2-3 third. No runs, no hits, and no one left for the Rebels. We go to the bottom of 3. Still 1-1 here in the Section 5 final.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Maddox Van Slooten stepping in to lead off the bottom of the 3rd for Maple Grove. The 9-1-2 hitters coming up against Evan Norby, who had a very good second inning. Struck out the first 2 and then fielded a comebacker, a chopper. After the first inning was a little bit rockier for him, he gave up that 1 run that tied the game. And Slooten rips that one over 3rd and into left field as he smokes that one for a leadoff single here to begin the 3rd. And that's what you see, in some of these better 4A teams where you got a lineup that's deep enough that it's no fluke when your 9 hitter does that.
Yeah, you want to be able to turn it over and get the top of your lineup up. You're not conceding it out with 8-9. You have kids who can hit the ball, put it in play. Another example where we've seen Champlin Park be very aggressive with their positioning. That third baseman was almost out on the grass.
Limerick bunting that one. Luke Carlson was way in at third on that one.
And I think that comes with the scouting report and having played these guys a few times throughout the year that anticipate a bunt, expect a bunt when they can. And, of course, here now we see the third baseman 3-4 steps in, expecting a bunt again. But that last play, if he's playing back in normal position, that's an easy line drive right at him. He takes a step to his left and fields that ball.
Oh, 2 here to Limerick. Ooh, that one up and in on him.
You know, you don't want to say you want to go up and in and threaten a kid, but it's a good pitch to waste, and he got out of the way. You would expect that from your leadoff hitter, that he's going to get out of a way of a ball coming at him, and when you're down 0-2 in the count, you got to expect something up and in.
Two balls and 2 strikes here to Limerick. Van Sluten aboard at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Slices that one foul.
If you're Limerick here, you want to do anything you can to get that runner down to second base, put them in the position to one hit would give them the lead here in the third.
Takes that one up, 3-2. See if they start the runner from first. He is running, and it's ball 4. Limerick working out a walk. But I feel like every time he's been up in these last couple games, he's looked like a threat up there. He doesn't always reach, but he's always a threat to.
That's what you want out of your leadoff hitters. You want to make it, have them put the pressure on the defense and make the pitcher feel uncomfortable and not get set in and throw strikes and get strikeouts. And based on balls, puts a little more pressure on Champlin Park here.
Caden Harney ripped a liner past the drawn-in infield past the shortstop to score the run that they have here. Fouls this one away. He's not looked great trying to get bunts down, though. They've asked him to quite a few times, and so far not working out.
I do like his no socks approach. I don't think I've seen that one. I like it. I don't think he has any socks on, or maybe he has ankle socks on. But he needs to get the bunt down. Coach is asking him to get the bunt down here with the runners on first and second, nobody out. Expect it again here.
Ooh, they had a play on, and now it's a bunt to third. They're going to go to third. It's Carlson to Carlson, Luke to Nick covering. Good rotation for Champlin Park as they foil that strategy. They got him actually fairly easily.
So that's one of those things that if you're watching us on TV, you don't understand how big of a deal that was. The first time he tried to bunt, the first baseman was coming into charge, so Maple Grove kept the bunt on and thought they'd be able to drop it down to third baseline. That time, Champlin Park adjusted, realized he was trying to bunt the ball down third baseline. The third baseman was rushing in and easily got that force out of third base.
Back at Shimpa, the hitter, he struck out his first time up, but was 3 for 4 in the first game. And he drives this one to the gap, and that'll be down for extra bases. It'll score 1 for sure and maybe 2. Shimpa in at second. Harney is going to score, and it's 3-1 Crimson. Shimpa coming through again with the bat.
Wow, have a night. He's been hitting the ball hard to the gaps. And another example of him coming up with a big hit in a big spot. Easily gets that first run across. A good job by the runner at first to realize that ball's down. You got to hustle around second base. Expect you're going to score. Look at your coach coming around third base. Coming around second base, pick up your third base coach and realize you're going to come in and score.
Yeah, that was one of those that it was fortunate for Harney or for Maple Grove in general that you could tell right away it was going to be in the gap. They're going to appeal to third.
Give me safe. Which runner? I'm not sure which one. The second one for sure touched.
Yeah, they were checking to make sure that somebody hadn't missed third there, and umpires say safe or they didn't see it. Connor Johnson, the hitter now, so Maple Grove up 3-1. And that one is over for a strike. Shimpa's third double of the night, including that first game. Ooh, he drives this one out to left, but Greer drifting back and will make the catch. Runner bluffs going to third. So Johnson gave it a pretty good ride, but it's a fly out to left, and Wilm will be the hitter.
The catcher, number 17, Connor Will.
Down and away with that one. Oakley, a good block.
Yeah, nice job there with the catcher to not only just block it, but understand that as long as he keeps it in front of him, that runner from second is not going to run because it's a shorter throw. Now, if the runner was at first, it might be a different story, but understanding the runner's at second, you got a shorter path to third base. Keep that ball in front of you. Don't let them advance.
Flare out to right. It's going to hold up, though, enough to be caught, and it is. But Maple Grove does some damage in the third as they go ahead. A 2-run third inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 left aboard. We have played 3 innings here in the Section 5 final, 3-1 Crimson.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Topline member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here to Champlin Park. Maple Grove leading Champlin Park 3-1 after 3 innings here of Game 2 of the Section 5 4A Baseball Championship. Maple Grove won the first game 5-0 to force this second game for the title. After the Rebels got one at the top of the first, Maple Grove answered with one in the bottom half of the first, and then a 2-run third inning. So we go to the fourth. Reese George will hit the 4, 5, 6 spots here for Champlin Park, facing Ian Schock, the lefty for Maple Grove.
Yeah, in game 1, not a lot of action for Champlin Park to actually put a threat on the base paths, but more action here in this second game, and you'd expect them to have a chance here with their 4, 5, 6 up in the top of the fourth here.
George fouling it back. He bounced back to the pitcher, O'Dwyer, who started the game for Maple Grove in his first at bat in the first inning. One and one count here to the Rebels' leadoff hitter in the fourth. Fouling that one straight back. Lifting it to short right, and it is going to drop in for a hit. Well placed by George as he just dropped that one down the line. Just too far to go for Tainton. No chance at that one.
Yeah, sometimes it's not about how hard you hit the ball, it's just where you hit the ball. Find open green, find that grass where they're not. It helps you get on base.
Luke Carlson, the hitter. Reached on an error his first time up and takes a strike from Schock. Fastball, swing and a miss. 0-2. Down by 2, there didn't seem to be any thought of bunting or anything like that, especially where they are in the order too.
Yeah.
But more so score an inning. Here's a little soft liner, and that one's going to be in for a hit. Just over Van Sluten. Runner going to third, and the throw is too high. That'll allow that trail runner to come into second. Probably a mistake there in judgment trying to throw him out at third.
Wow, very, very aggressive base running. But when you're on first base, you look at that second baseman. When you see the ball is hit to the second baseman, you don't watch the ball. You look at the second baseman and see if he's going to have a chance. If he doesn't have a chance, you're busting your butt to third base, and that's exactly what he did. Drew the throw to third base, which allowed that runner from first to go to second. And now here they are, second and third with nobody out.
Yeah, from up here, I could tell he wasn't going to be able to catch it, but it is interesting that George was able to tell so early, too, because he was running all the way.
100%. He was gone. He's gone.
I think the mistake here is, though, you got to at least keep that ball low enough that they think it might be cut. Yeah.
Somebody's got to cut that. Because the first baseman's trailing that lead runner, and he's actually, first baseman probably stay close first, but yeah, I mean, you got to keep that ball down. Don't let your emotions get a hold of you and try and get that runner at third. Follow through what you've been dealing with in practice and hit those cutoffs, because that cutoff should be able to get that cut, throw it to second, keep that runner from going down to second base.
Yeah, and even if it isn't cut off, if you throw it low enough that the runner thinks it might be, that probably would have kept him at first.
That was very aggressive base running, fun to watch.
Donovan Bendel hits second and third. Nobody out for the Rebels. They're down by 2, but a golden opportunity to make up that deficit here. Infield in at the corners and back at kind of medium depth in the middle infield.
Yeah, shortstop's back. Second base is probably in the base paths, but
taken for a ball here.
I think anybody but the corners, they'll go to first base, but
yeah, and that's the thing you got to know kind of before it's hit. Where am I going to go? Here?
Everybody has to know. Everybody in the infield needs to know.
Smacked right at short. Lenmark is going to come home with it, and he gets the out. Well, he trusted his arm to make the throw there, and he's able to just get George. And they also keep that other runner at second.
Huge play. Huge play. Hit right at him, comes in, sets his feet, good strong throw, and gets the tag. Great play. You would not expect him to go. You saw him look over third base, and he right away realized the runner was breaking. That's the little things like that. I think you, as a coach, you want to see your runners get more aggressive secondary leads. Unfortunately, it was a good strong throw to home that got him out. And they held the runner at second, too.
Christian Dull is going to bat here for Fino in the 7th spot. So runners at first and second, now 1 out. Boy, that was a big play defensively, and it's
huge play.
It's interesting because you almost feel by positioning that they were conceding that run if it was hit to the shortstop, but then he changed his mind. It's off of Schock, and throw to first goes wide. A run will score for the Rebels, and they will pull to within 3-2, and everybody moves up 1. Maple Grove still trying to get an out after the deflection there. Probably should have just ended up eating that one. Be an infield hit here for Dull, and then a throwing error.
That's baseball for you. They make that previous play, and then this happens, and they score a run, put themselves in second and third with 1 out now.
So Oakley will be the hitter here. Second and third for the Rebels. They're within 3-2. Soft liner, that one will be over the second baseman. The game is tied. Oakley delivering a hit over the drawn-in infield as Van Slooten. That ball probably more or less where he would have been playing in a normal spot, but instead it's over his head. DeLong will run again for Oakley at first.
Yeah, we talked about that with Champlin Park in the previous inning. If they play back in normal position, some of these balls are going to be lazy line drives, and that was an example of that for Maple Grove. They're playing in to cut their run off home, and unfortunately that ball scoots right over the second baseman's head. Ties the game up. Now you'd expect them to move the runner down here first and third.
Caleb Greer will be the batter. Runner is going from first, and it's taken for a strike, but they pretty much concede DeLong advancing there. Well, just when it seemed like Maple Grove had grabbed the momentum back, come the Rebels. They tied it up and a great chance to go ahead here. One out, runners at second and third.
Yeah, and just as we said earlier, big programs, they don't have an 8-9 hitter that are just kind of deadbeats. These guys, they can hit the ball too. They can turn the lineup over, get the top of the lineup to the plate, but these guys are dangerous as well. You can't just throw cookies up there and let them hit line drives.
Back up the middle, off of Schock's glove. That'll be through for a hit. Champlin Park takes the lead. Dull in to score on Greer's bouncer right back past the pitcher. And it's 4-3 Rebels.
Again, second baseman playing in, if not on the base paths or the grass. If he's playing back in normal depth, that's an easy chopper that he fields, gets the out at first. Yeah, they'd still score a run, but they'd get him out.
That previous one was Oakley's liner that tied it up, and then Greer bouncing one through the middle, and they're not done yet. First and third, one out, top of the order now, Brockton Sandell. He is 0 for 2 today. Runner going from first. They'll fire it right to the pitcher's Schock, and Greer takes second. Yeah, you never know. If that runner on third gets a little antsy and thinks he's going to make a break for it, that might work. Not too often at this age level, but
I do like that better than the throw to the shortstop. The throw to the shortstop makes no sense to me.
Outside with that one.
Nobody warming up down to the bullpen yet.
No, although you have to
Might be
remember that in
somebody
high
from the
school
field.
ball, there's certainly a chance that the next pitcher in would be somebody who's already in the game.
Yep.
That one is a strike. Turns on this one down the left field line, and it is just foul. Ooh, that would have been big for the Rebels.
Yeah, that would have brought in two more, put them up 6-3, but Maple Grove avoids a threat there, and one pitch away from getting the second out.
Liner up the middle. That'll be down for another hit. One run is in. They're going to send that second runner as well. Throw to the plate. Not in time. 6-3. Champlin Park. Well, the hits coming in bunches now.
Another example of really good aggressive base running there. Smart base running by the runner on third base. When that ball is put in play, if it's down, you're scoring no matter what. If it's not, I think his hand's hurt. I'm not sure what's going on here. But good base running there by the runner on third base. He went back to the bag, assuming that ball is going to be caught. If it's caught, you got to put yourself in a position to tag up and get that run in. It got down.
I feel like Sandell must have hurt his hand or something.
Out? No, yeah, he's hurt. He's getting a pinch runner. But going back to that hit, the runner at third, immediately when that ball was hit, he saw it was in the air. He broke back to third base, put himself in position to tag up. Runner at second realized nobody was going to catch that. He ran to third base immediately. He was probably 2-3 steps behind that first runner, which allowed him to score safely and put them up 6-3.
Nick Carlson will be the batter. And I thought there were a couple plays in Saturday's meeting between these two where I thought Coach Thome was a little conservative and held runners at third. That time, not so much. He waved him on and he required a perfect throw, and it didn't happen. And that one is in the dirt. Carlson, 1 for 2. Last time up, lined out right at the left fielder. It looks like Maple Grove might be thinking of a pitching change here, perhaps. John Grubner coming out.
Yeah, I think after you see a 5-run inning and he starts the next pitch off with that one down in the dirt, you want to come out there and talk to him, calm him down, let him know it's okay.
Beckett Shimpa going out to loosen up, so he is just starting to warm up, so it doesn't look like they're going to make the change yet. They wanted to give him a little time. To be honest, I'm surprised it took this long, though, to think about this, because they were getting to shock.
Yeah, they put quite a few balls in play here in this inning.
Boy, things can change in a hurry, huh? I mean, it just Maple Grove going up 3-1. Looked like they were really had the momentum, and then not so much here in the fourth.
Yeah, big inning here for Champlin Park, and this is exactly what they needed. They needed the bench to stay positive, to get the fans into the game here at the home field, and you don't want to stop here. You want to put up a couple more and give yourself some breathing room.
1-0 count to Carlson, so Schock stays in for the moment. And he's got him picked off. Johnson's throw down, the tag is applied, and that runner down there at first, by the way, was Henshin, the guy who finished the game pitching. He came in as a pinch runner for Sandell, who appeared to be injured, and promptly gets picked off. So his teammates might give him a little grief about that. Some pinch runner, right? No, it happens. It was a good move.
And I remember when the pitcher came in, this left-handed pitcher, third base coach made a point to talk to the umpires to make sure that they're aware that he's not going to balk when he makes that pickoff move. And that's the first time we saw a really effective pickoff move there, and it worked.
As I recall, Saturday there was a little debate about that, whether he was bringing his foot kind of behind on that pickoff move. So fouled away here by Carlson, so a good key out to get for Maple Grove, but Champlin Park still a lot of momentum here and leading at 6-3.
And that's one of those interesting discussions that what is a balk, especially when you only have two umps. When you have an umpire behind second base and umpire at home plate, how are they going to realize what a balk is? They can't actually see that angle. But when you have an umpire clearly at first base looking at that, you want to bring that to their attention. When somebody has a really good pickoff play, they're known to kind of stretch the limits. They're going to try and push the limits, and they might balk but get you picked off and get away with it. You want to just make sure the umpire is aware that you're aware of it too. So they did that. They got picked off. It happens. See if they can make sure that it doesn't happen again. I
saw something very rare the other day in a high school game. I was at the New Life Academy Heritage Christian Academy, a game in Class 4 or Section 4A, and a pitcher balked. And he right away said, "Yep, I did." He acknowledged to the umpire that he knew he had balked, and both plate umpire and base umpire pretty much at the same time yelled out "balk," and he didn't argue it at all. It was, in fact, it was the opposite. He realized that he had kind of flinched.
You know, when an umpire calls it, sometimes it's better to just acknowledge, like, yep, you're right, even if you don't agree with them, because it goes a long way. They understand that you realize that they understand the rule, you respect their decision.
Carlson will bounce to second, but what an inning for Champlin Park as they get 5 runs and now lead this game 6-3 heading to the bottom of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Preston Berg stepping in to lead it off for Maple Grove. They now find themselves trailing 6-3 after they had grabbed a 3-1 lead. Evan Nordby still out there on the hill now, staked to a 3-run lead for Champlin Park. Berg struck out his first time through. Fouling another one away. Lifting it to right field. It's going to drop in for a hit as Berg aboard to start the 4th.
The right fielder, number 10, Oliver.
Oliver Tainton stepping in here for Maple Grove and lifting one out to left field. A long run, but Greer able to get there. He will make the catch for out number 1. Vince Lenmark will bat now for the Crimson. Having some technical difficulties here, and bear with us here. It's been a frustrating one with that going on, but trying to get through her here. Lenmark knocking it to second. They're going to have to go to first here and get the out. Smart play there to not even think about trying to go to second. The runner Berg will advance, but it is a key second out to get. Sandell is back in there, by the way, so I don't know exactly what happened to him on that play on the bases when he delivered the base hit, but he's well enough to be back out there.
Yeah, good to see him out there. We were kind of confused. He kept looking at his hands after he got on base, but he's back out there, so that's a good sign.
Van Sluten had a single last time up. His only time up, in fact, in this game, and eventually was thrown out at third on that really nice defensive rotation when they played it perfectly on a bunt. Third baseman charging, and then through to the shortstop covering. You could tell that it was a kind of a play they practiced a lot too, because a lot of times people in a situation like that, they get so excited that they don't throw it accurately.
Yeah, even before first pitch of this at bat, the catcher went out with a runner on second and 2 outs, up 6-3 here midway through the game. He made a couple signals. He swiped his hands across his chest, did a couple hand gestures to make sure his middle infielders knew. So he made a signal to his outfielders, his corner infielders, and then his middle infielders to let them know, here's what we're doing with this batter, and when the ball is put in play, this is what's going to happen. So everybody knows what's going on. Because sometimes, and I don't know, you don't know how deep they're going to get. They might pitch him inside, and if they pitch him inside, they're going to expect him to pull the ball. If they're pitching him outside, you expect opposite field. So you can read the center fielder, and like I said earlier, he has really good footwork, so he's adjusting every pitch. He's reading where the ball is going to be, how their hitter's adjusting to the pitches and positioning himself.
Ooh, Van Sluten got away with calling time just before Nordby delivered what could have been a strike, it looked like. That one is definitely not. So now a full count. And that one in the dirt. That's ball 4. Oakley able to block it. So first and second, 2 out. Top of the order now with Limerick coming up.
The center fielder, number 4, Joey Limerick.
Limerick's had a single and a walk.
Big spot in the game here.
Slicing that one foul down the third base line. Rebels fans wanted that one, didn't get it.
Good breaking ball. I think it came inside. He's off the plate. He's not on the plate, so I think that ended up being inside in the corner. But
that one is a strike, and Limerick is his turn to say, oh. 1 and 2. Didn't mean to swing. A little tapper, it'll roll foul. Driven down the left field line, but foul. They really had him played over that way. I mean, Greer couldn't get to that one, but at first glance, I was like, wow, he really was expecting that kind of placement and swing from Limerick. And he knocks that one, fielded by Carlson, but no play to be made. And then he tries to decoy that runner and see if he can maybe catch him rounding third too far. Nice pickup, but nowhere to go with it. It's an infield hit for Limerick.
yeah, put it where they aren't. But good play there by the shortstop to field it, saves a run, fields it cleanly, fake throw, puts the ball in his glove, makes the runner think that he threw it. Smart heads up running by the third baseman, or third base runner, not to try and advance and scoot off base to get tagged out.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Conference time for Champlin Park. I don't think this is, a visit intending to lift Nordby here, but
yeah, you talk through situations. You want to make sure, of course, you want to get this third out, but if the ball's hit here, don't do this, don't force anything. If the ball's hit the gap, know what you're doing. Make sure you don't give up 3 runs. We got a 6-3 lead here midway through the game. We just had a really good inning at the plate. Let's get this third out and get back up to the plate.
Caden Harney will be the hitter here for Maple Grove. Boy, a huge opportunity here both ways. I mean, if the Rebels can get the out, they'll be like, okay, we're still good. But if Maple Grove gets a base hit here, they'll really tighten it up. Fouls another one away.
Great job to get up 0-2 in the count. Gives him an opportunity to be creative with his pitches. You don't want to throw anything to the backstop here to give up a free run, but you don't want to give anything right over the plate to let this big hitter square something up and bring in a couple runs.
Oh, and a called third strike. It looked like Harney was thinking he'd waste one there, and he came right in with a pitch over the plate. Big out for Nordby, and the Crimson threaten, but don't score on the 4th. No runs. There was 2 hits and 3 left aboard as we go to inning number 5. Champlin Park leading it 6-3.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there. Because connected, we all do better.
We go to inning number 5. Kellen Oligmuller leading off here for Champlin Park. They lead it by a score of 6-3. The winner goes to the state tournament. Maple Grove won the first game of the evening 5-0, but Champlin Park now up 6-3 heading to this 5th inning. Oligmuller had a double to drive in the first run of the game and then struck out in the 3rd. Ian Schock had a rocky last inning, but kind of get the impression this is still the guy they want out there, and there is activity down the line, but maybe a little bit surprising that he's still in there. Jammed him with that one. Dribbler to 3rd, and not going to have a play. A little trouble getting out of the glove, but it'll be an infield hit for Oligmuller. As they're playing back at 3rd, and Berg seemed like he had a little trouble with it, but I think he had already decided by that point not to throw it anyway.
Good hustle out of the box there. Wasn't looking at the ball. Looked straight down at the line and first base. Didn't worry about what happened there. Coach will tell you, hey, it was a line drive. You got through. It's okay. Now you're going to see a short leash here for Maple Grove pitcher. You got a kid warming up down there, and you can't allow Maple Grove to get deeper into their lead this late in the game.
Preston Nelson will run for Oligmuller at first base. George is the batter. Rip and a miss here. George had a single last time up that got that big 5-run 4th started.
Third baseman creeping in. It always scares me when they come in 4 or 5 steps in front of the grass and they're swinging away.
Runner is going, and it's fouled away. Boy, Nelson had a great jump. I think he was going to have that one stolen. And George must have been a hit and run on. Because I think if he takes that one, that's going to be a stolen base. Schock's going to come to first, and he's got a deceptive move. And again, we talked about it earlier. Champlin Park, I think, felt like there was a time or two that he might have balked, but and a ball get away, I think, out of the bullpen or something down there.
Another one.
There was somebody kind of down there to back up the catcher, but he wasn't really aligned maybe just right, and it went by him also. Now the runner takes off way early, and Nelson's going to take second easily. Schock wasn't quite ready, and Nelson easily swipes it.
So it's a little thing that is a big deal for Champlin Park. It takes a drop, puts a drop third strike into play, takes out the force out at second base, and now, of course, with the base hit to the outfield, really good chance of scoring that 7th run.
Oh, yeah.
Batting for the Rebels, right fielder, number 16, Donovan Kendall.
Lifted out to short right field. Van Slooten, the second baseman, drifting back and will make the catch. So the Rebels done in the fifth inning. No runs, one hit, and one left aboard as we go to the bottom of five. Champlin Park leading at 6-3.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
Becca Chimpa leading off the bottom of the fifth for Maple Grove, fouls the first pitch away. Had a two-run double in the third. And a foul down the left field line will get out of play.
Champlin Park, you're one out at a time here. Get that first out, then refocus. Get that second out, move on. Try and keep that 3-on lead and progress on to the state tournament here.
Shimpa takes that one up out of the zone, 1 and 2. Ooh, just inside. Grandstand umpires didn't like it.
There's a lot of them in here. I was surprised. I didn't realize there were many umps in here.
Hits it hard down the first base side. Oleg Mueller, the flip to Nordby covering, and 1 out here in the 5th.
Again, one of those little drills that's really annoying and boring to do when you're in the gym back in February, March, and early April when you get those rain days. But that's the play that little things can easily get messed up and allow a leadoff runner to get on base. Then Maple Grove has a chance to build on that, but they executed, got that fundamental play down, and the pitcher was over the cover and get that first out.
Connor Johnson is the hitter. First pitch missing up high for a ball. He's 0 for 2. And another pitch up out of the zone from Nordby. That's a strike. Maple Grove got 1 in the first to tie the game at the time, 1-1. Then they scored 2 in the third, and they went up 3-1. And that one is fouled on the right field line. Just for a few moments, it kind of seemed like they had the momentum, and you know, they might be on their way. But Champlin Park responding in a big way in the 4th with 5 runs.
Yeah, Maple Grove, another good start to the game. This time, Champlin Park came back and countered and had a couple runs and took the lead and put themselves in a good spot here late in the game.
Well, Tapper to first. Oleg Mueller again will flip to Nordby. Boy, I don't know how many times you see 2 3-1 putouts to begin an inning, but that's what we have right there.
Again, execution of those little things. That's what gets you to move on. That's what good teams do. Is they do the ordinary things extraordinarily well, and that's what we're seeing here. Fielding ground balls, covering bases when you're not supposed to all the time, and be there to back up your teammates. And that's what we just saw in the past 2 ground balls. Is pitcher might not necessarily need to be there, but they were there and allowed the first baseman an opportunity to have an outlet to get that out at first.
Connor Wilm, the hitter, they appealed to first, but no swing. That one just inside, 2-0. And that one outside. 3 balls, no strikes here. Wilm 0 for 2, but looking to get on base here with a couple out in the 5th. That one is over. Yeah, this strike 2. Thought he might have had a walk, but instead it'll be a full count. Pounded to second. Sandell up with it, flipping to first on a 1-2-3 5th inning work there by Nordby. They needed that one. No runs, no hits, no one left. We've completed 5. It's 6-3 Rebels.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, we love getting to be part of our members' big moments. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, building a business, or even getting married. An interest-only home equity line of credit with payments as low as $50 per month can help you get there. It's just one of the ways we're helping our members on their financial journeys. Become a Topline member and let us be a part of yours, because connected, we all do better.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here as we go to inning number 6 in the Section 5 4A Baseball Championship. Champlin Park leading at 6-3 along with Drew Keogh. I'm Jay Wilcox. We apologize. We've certainly had more than our share of technical difficulties this evening, but doing our best to bring you the rest of the game here. As the bottom third of the order coming up here for Champlin Park, Christian Dull will lead it off. He singled in the 4th, right in the middle of that big rally after he came in to replace Fino in the DH spot and the number 7 spot in their order.
Leading off for the Rebels in the top of the 6th.
Becca Chimpa is on to pitch, by the way, for Maple Grove. Four innings worked by Ian Schock. A little bit up and down. Obviously, that 4th inning was the big one for the Rebels. Shimpa 1-2 with a 3.00 ERA in 18 2/3 innings this year. Opponents are only hitting 109 off him. However, he's walked 18, struck out 22, and that was kind of the story. He started the game Saturday against the Rebels and only got through 1 inning. He was pretty wild.
A lot of excitement about this young guy, and he throws pretty hard. I've seen some reports that he's throwing upper 80s, low 90s and when he's maxed out. So if he's dialed in, he's going to be hard to hit. But if he's not dialed in, you just take those fastballs and let him go.
Way up high there for a ball. Sharp breaking ball, but missed. Sometimes you have good stuff, but harnessing it is what the next step is. And that one inside, and Dole will be aboard to begin the 6th.
That's a really tough thing as a coach manager, is you want to give these kids that throw really hard an opportunity to pitch, but if they can't throw strikes during the game, they give up a walk, hit a batter, they put themselves in position, and all of a sudden things spiral out of control, and you bring in a pitcher who throws strikes, and then all of a sudden it's a 2-run inning for the opposition. So got to let them work that out in practice and in non-game situations.
Oakley tried to bunt, he missed. They throw behind the runner there, back in safely though as Dull. That's when even when you're intending to bunt, you want to have a little better eye than that though. He went after a pitch way out of the strike zone. And then this time bunting it foul. And that one way outside, and Dull easily will advance. So now the fact that they couldn't get that bunt down doesn't matter quite as much. It should give Oakley a chance to knock in this run, I would think. Breaking ball over for a strike there. And that's strike 3 as Oakley is retired for the first out. And Greer will be the batter here for Champlin Park.
The left fielder, number 6, Caleb Greer.
Oakley, I think, fooled by that pitch a little bit, but also maybe didn't think it was over the strike zone. There's strike 1 to Greer. Greer had an RBI last time up. There's strike 2 on the inside corner.
This is where you see a kid like this kind of get dialed in, get comfortable with that fastball, moving that ball in and out, throwing it hard over the plate, makes it really tough for the hitters to adjust, and then come with the breaking ball, makes it almost impossible to put the ball in play.
Breaking ball knocked down to second. Van Sluten stumbled just a bit, but he will get the out. Moves the runner over to third now with 2 outs, and the top of the order coming up as Brockton Sandell will hit.
Not the swing Greer wanted on that pitch. Kind of defensive swing. Realized it was a curveball. Wanted to put it in play. Didn't want to take a swinging strike there and put it in play. Just unfortunately, lazy ground ball to the second baseman to get the second out.
There's a strike. Another one to second. Van Sluten over. He drops it, but will still have time to get the out. That's why you love being a second baseman there, that short throw. So the Rebels threaten but don't score in the 6th. No runs, no hits, and 1 runner left at third base. We go to the bottom of 6, 6-3, Champlin Park.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
Beautiful evening for baseball here. We end up with a doubleheader after Maple Grove won the first game 5-0. Champlin Park, though, leads 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Couple more at bats here for Maple Grove. Preston Berg leading it off against Evan Nordby, who started this game 2 for Champlin Park and has pitched 5 pretty solid innings. Berg had a single last time up after striking out in his first at bat. He did a homer to left field in the first game. Rip and a miss, and down he goes. Tainton will be the batter here for Maple Grove, so a good way, boy, getting that first out in these late innings seems like such a big deal.
Huge confidence builder, and it also allows your defense to stay in position. You don't have to adjust for a runner on base, whether it's a speedy runner or a slow runner. You don't have to worry about that runner on base. You don't have to worry about or throw it on a second base. Pass balls don't really come into play, so huge to get that first out.
And I think if you're being honest, most guys are more comfortable from the windup than the stretch too.
Yep. Big mentality boost.
Way up high with that one. Tainton 0 for 2. Was 1 for 2 in the opening game of the night. Dwyer threw a complete game in game 1 for Maple Grove. Nordby trying to do the same in game 2 for Champlin Park, which he did just last Saturday in a 7-2 win over the Crimson. Foul down the left field line. That one fouled straight back.
Nice job to get ahead in the count here. Opens up the opportunity to drop a breaking ball or stay up in the zone with the fastball. Doesn't matter if you throw a ball, you can still got a couple pitches to work with.
That's a pretty good location for that one. It may not have been a strike, but it definitely moved Tainton a little bit and get his feet moving, and I think it's a good spot for that one.
Yeah, it's a good miss. Inside corner.
Foul back again.
Sets up that pitch. He's got to go attack. It's a little closer to the plate. That probably would have been called a strike, so good follow-up pitch.
And that one high and away, so the count will run full now. Nordby doesn't want to lose him. And a swing and a miss, and he wins the battle. So he starts the sixth with back-to-back strikeouts. And Lundmark will be the hitter for Maple Grove. Good pitch and a good spot there, and Tainton goes down swinging. Good battle. I mean, it was a good at bat. He fouled away some pitches and got to the full count, but ends up striking out. Grounder to short. Nick Carlson up with it, fires across, and a second straight 1-2-3 inning for Nordby. Again, he seems to be getting stronger as we go. We head to inning number 7, Champlin Park, looking for a section title. They lead it 6-3.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
Welcome back. Good crowd on hand for the Section 5 championship in Class 4A. Maple Grove, only one more at bat to go. They are down 6-3. It'll be Champlin Park hitting here in the top of the 7th. Again, if you're just joining us, they are actually the visitor, even though it's their home field. They were home team in the first game, but then lost that game, so there was a coin flip for game 2, and Maple Grove won it and chose home, obviously, here. Beckett Shimpa on for his second inning of work. Nick Carlson leading off the 7th. The 2-3-4 hitters coming up for Champlin Park. They haven't done a whole lot since that big 5-run fourth, but then again, they haven't necessarily needed it either. They've gotten a few runners here and there, but haven't been able to score after that inning. That one inside. Carlson 1 for 3, a single, and scored the first run of the game back in the first inning. Shimpa not really a comfortable guy to hit against, in part because his stuff is really good. It's hard to square it up, but also you don't know where it's going to go.
Yes. There's
Ooh, and that one is high and tight. It almost hit Carlson. I almost thought it had, but apparently not.
I think he just caught the catcher's mitt. Sounded like his elbow, but I think it was the catcher's mitt. Yeah, there's a little, even going down to youth sports, there's a little bit of strategy to going from somebody who throws easy and accurate to somebody who's a little bit of a loose cannon, but can throw strikes that they get dialed in like that. Like he was stepping out of the box, and that ball was right down the barrel, and probably 86, 88. But when it's 3-0, you're going to take that no matter what.
And there's ball 4 as it's inside. Carlson will work out a walk here to start the 7th. And Olegmuller will be the hitter.
Now batting for the Rebels, the first baseman, number 13, Kellen Olegmuller.
Well, I'm going to come out and talk to Shimpa a little bit here. Olegmuller slugged a double in the first inning that drove in a run, and then had a single in the 5th. Squaring to bunt, takes that one for a ball inside. That one is over the outside part for a strike. I guess Olegmuller's not asked to bunt very often, but in this spot, you know, you've got a 3-run lead. You'd like to make it 4. And a defensive swing on that pitch tailing in on him, so now 1-2. And a rip and a miss, and Shimpa wins the battle. Boy, he showed right there how, even against a good hitter, lefty on lefty matchup, he can be tough.
Yeah, that speed is so hard to adjust to. And pick that ball up out of his mitt and in his hand and catch up to it, and that's a tough task to handle. And Shimpa's winning the battle out there.
Reese George, the batter. He is looking to bunt as well. He gets it down. Shimpa will throw to first and just got him there. He does move the runner up. George got down the line in pretty good order there. That turned into a close play. And Luke Carlson will bat now for Champlin Park. Carlson's been aboard every time. He singled after reaching on an error and then walked. And that one high and tight. That'll get your attention.
It was almost a strike, but it was up and in. When it's coming 8 to 10 miles an hour faster than used to, that's a change pace.
Swing and a miss, and the throw is behind, and they're going to take third. Wow. Nick Carlson catching Maple Grove off guard. Kind of hard to tell if Wilm was trying to throw it back to the pitcher or if he was trying to throw that one through to second. Either way, Carlson got such a good break on it that they had no chance at him.
I think Shimpa was so excited that he got the strike there that he kind of did a spin, and the catcher was quick to throw it back and caught him off guard and went right by him. They're good running by the runner at second base. Now something to the fence puts him up 7-3.
Carlson looking to be active down there at third, and if, you know, obviously a wild pitch isn't out of the question either. Shimpa a little bit of trouble with control. That one is a strike, and Luke Carlson didn't think so. Nick Carlson made a full speed break for a moment there, and there's a swing and a miss, and Shimpa will win the battle and get the strikeout. So the Rebels don't score in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Maple Grove needs 3 to tie, down 6-3.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Evan Nordby looking to try and close this one out here as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Rebels up 6-3. The 9-1-2 hitters coming for Grove here. Maddox Van Sluten, who's been a dangerous 9-hitter. He's been on base both times. He starts him with a strike, a single and a walk. Just outside with that one, 1-1.
Tensions are high. Everybody's excited. They can sense it. They want to get that first out.
That one is over, 1-2. Grounder to Carlson at short. Good strong throw right on the money, and one gone here in the 7th. And they're going to come get the ball from Nordby. I suspect this must be a pitch count thing. Otherwise, there's not much reason they would be taking him out. I think he must have to come out here. And boy, does he get a good hand from this crowd as he will work 6 1/3. Tristan Wexeth will be getting the ball here. No, he is actually going to first base, and Oleg Mueller looks like he'll be the pitcher here for Champlin Park. Yes, Oleg Mueller, Kellen Oleg Mueller that is, will start to loosen up here for Champlin Park.
For the Rebels, number 13, Kellen Oleg Mueller.
We'll take a quick timeout and come back here as Oleg Mueller tries to close the door on the Crimson.
In 1935, Topline Financial Credit Union was founded by workers from our local phone company, by people who dedicated their lives to keeping our community connected. At Topline Financial, that dedication lives on because we believe that dreams are achieved when we connect with each other. So if you're dreaming of buying a new home or car, or planning for your future, or saving for that next vacation, connect with us. We'll help you get there, because connected, we all do better.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
Kellen Oligmuller coming on to try and close it out here. The top of the order now up, Joey Limerick for Maple Grove. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, and again, I feel fairly confident saying Nordby must have reached the pitch limit there. Otherwise, I don't think there was really any reason that he would have come out in that spot. Bounce foul here by Limerick, who is 2 for 2 with a walk.
That's what you want out of your leadoff hitter here, but getting late in the game, he's got to do anything he can to get on base.
Strike 2. Breaking ball, catches him looking for a called third strike, and Oligmuller pumped up as they get a good start from their reliever there.
By far the most emotion we've seen out of either of these teams tonight right there. Good breaking ball.
Now batting for the Crimson, the left fielder, number 11, Caden Harney.
Caden Harney is the batter. Had an RBI single in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the third, and there is a strike. Overthrew that one a little bit, up high and away. And now 2-1. It's only human nature that he'd love to end this as a strikeout. I think he's trying a little extra hard there to get something on those. Tying away, and Harney will work out a walk. So they're not done yet. A base runner with 2 outs for the Crimson, and Beckett Shimpa will be the hitter. Drove in what at the time were the go-ahead runs in the 3rd inning with a 2-run double. Now it's up to him at the end. Takes a pitch inside for a ball. Oligmuller stepping off here. I think they're gonna not keep Harney on. That run doesn't really matter that much. More important to be able to be in position to get an out. And high and tight with that one. Harney heading towards second.
What is he doing?
What is he doing? He's walking down there?
Must have been a balk, yeah.
Is that what it was? Okay. I didn't hear that call. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, we were get there. He knew what was going on.
The catcher, I don't think that Oakley wasn't sure either, so he's like, I'm going to throw it, and hopefully they get over there and cover. And Tapper foul. 1-1 from Oleg Mueller. Slap to third, a diving stop. Throw to first is in time, and Champlin Park will win it. The Rebels headed to their 5th state tournament and first since 2017. Things looked sort of bleak in game number 1. It was all Maple Grove, but Champlin Park coming back with a strong performance in the second game, Drew, to advance.
Yeah, not a lot of excitement and energy for the Rebels in that first game. Maple Grove played a great first game. Started off well in the second game here. Both teams did, but a couple of huge hits for Champlin Park there in the 4th inning to grab that lead to go up 6-3, and that's where the game ends, and Champlin Park advances to state.
Yeah, that one big inning really did the job for them, and also Evan Nordby obviously working that 6 and the 3rd innings. Fantastic performance for him. Congrats to the Crimson. I mean, they played a great game in that first game and forced the second, but they'll have to settle for the runner-up spot here as it is Champlin Park's turn to represent Section 5 4A in the state tournament. A fun night of baseball here, Drew. There's a lot of back and forth, and we had a lot of good things for Maple Grove in that first game, and more so for Champlin Park, obviously, in the second game, and that's why you're glad to stay in the winners bracket too.
Yeah, a couple of really well-played games, a couple of defensive plays. We had double plays from both sides earlier in the evening. And then big innings were the key to wins for both teams. The first game for Maple Grove, they had back-to-back. They started off the inning with a home run and then a couple hits to bring in 2 runs and put Maple Grove up 5-zip to give them the win. And then here in the second game, Champlin Park has that big 4th inning, a couple of key hits. And we talked about it earlier throughout the day that, that is what baseball is. It's timely hitting with base runners on. And that's what Maple Grove wasn't able to do in the earlier section playoff game. And then tonight in the second game, they just weren't able to get the key hits, and Champlin Park was, and that was the difference.
Ryan Tome will be taking them to state for the first time, of course, as Rebels felt like they'd have a pretty good team coming into the year, and it's kind of proven out. As we said, they'd 15-7 coming into the night. They lost that first game, but able to get the W here in game number 2 to advance on to the state tournament. I was asking him too about hosting, and he said, well, it's been fun. It's more work than you kind of realize, especially on some of the days when they had like 4 games on a Saturday. But obviously for them it turned out to be a good thing on their home field. And he said, I don't know for sure if we'll come back to this, but we'd be interested in hosting again if that's a decision made at the section level. Obviously, they'd been playing at Osseo these last few years, so
it's a great facility, easy access, accessible parking. The field is in fantastic condition. They have a great grandstand, and those are the key elements. And having a field like this is great, but having the amenities of good parking, a good grandstand is another element that brings a good crowd to this field, and you don't always get that at every park. So good for them to host this, and it is a lot of work, but they did a great job, and congrats to them to advance into state.
So congratulations to the Rebels as they are headed to state. They'll find out on the weekend where they'll be playing. CHS Field, the site, and congrats again to the Rebels, and best of luck in that state tournament.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys.